It's a fulfillment of your own desire. So if you desire freedom and you desire love, and then you meet freedom and you meet love and you surrender to it, that's the end of your search. It's the end of your desires. You're fulfilled, you're happy, you're in love, and then you're free.
Yes. Hello and welcome to Heart with Eli Jaxon-Bear. I'm Lisa Schumacher. For this podcast, Eli suggested an interview, so we sat down together, and I asked him about the right relationship to the teacher. He spoke of how the true teacher appears to fulfill the desire of a true student, and of how your approach is reflected back in the response that is elicited from the teacher. Are you looking for help? Or are you a target for the arrow of truth to pierce through and dispel all remaining doubts about who you really are? What is offered here is an invitation to transparency and commitment that is born out of love for the sake of love and nothing else. Enjoy. What is the right relation to the teacher?
Really, that's all depends on what you want. Until you have a true sense of what you want, you're searching for help. And in searching for help, you can go to whatever, a teacher, a guru, an advice column, a horoscope, a magic 8-ball. You remember those?
Yes.
Really, what you want becomes your desire, and your desire is your motivating force that moves you through life. And so if your desire is for money, that's your motivating principle, that's the drive, then you are miraculously, what appears in front of you are the possibilities of money. And you will start pursuing them and either succeed or fail in your pursuit of whatever appears, because it's the objectification of the desire for money. Mm-hmm. If your desire is for a father, that's what will show up. You'll get a father figure. You get somebody who your relationship to the father is to be a good child. Mm-hmm. But if what you want is freedom or truth, then what will show up will be a reflection of that. And then you'll be tested by how deeply you want freedom, how deeply you want truth. And then your teacher's function is just to be empty and to see you as you are, and to see where you're also blinded. Mm-hmm. And then with skillful means, you can help see through the blinding. Mm-hmm. If you have skillful means, and not everybody did, Ramana didn't. Ramana just sat silently, and it was enough, Ramana's silence permeated the space so thickly, so densely, that, how many years after he was dead, you go to the ashram and you feel it. His Shakti is still present there because he was so deeply rooted in himself in silence. And that's the healing. That's the truth. That's what everybody's hungry for. And so that's enough. But when Papaji first met Ramana wouldn't talk. And Papaji said, well, what's going on? The guy's not saying anything. What am I doing here? And he left. He went up to play with Krishna up on the mountaintop. He didn't see Ramana as anything in particular because the guy wasn't talking. And so, really, it's your point of view and how you approach. And so then Papaji comes down, he's saying goodbye to Ramana. I just spent my vacation time on the mountain playing with Krishna. It really was great, and thank you for your time. And he says, oh, really, playing with Krishna? And he says, yes. So Ramana asks him, is he here now? He says, well, no, it's not here now. And he said, whatever comes and goes is an illusion. Find the seer. And this started Papaji's opening. And that just changed everything. And pretty soon he couldn't do his practices anymore. And he didn't know what to do. He went to the local swamis, he went to the mosque, he went to all the healers, and he just couldn't do his practices, which he'd been doing for 20 years, every morning, 5 a.m. And so finally he went to Ramana, and that's when he started his transmission. Yeah. But so he had to approach it again Because the first approach, he was still playing with Krishna,
Yeah, he was distracted.
distracted.
And so then the teacher pierces through the distraction.
The teacher possibly can. It really depends on you how you show up, you know. Because you think of all the thousands of people who went to see Ramana, received his transmission while he's alive. And how many of those woke up?
Who knows? Yeah.
The ones I met didn't, mainly. Because I went to the ashram, I met the old swamis. They're still alive. They were still alive then. And they were, they were preaching.
Mm-hmm.
But they weren't awake. They were preaching. They knew what to say. They knew the words. So how is it that they didn't get it and Papaji did? This is some grace.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
But now that's been spread so that we all can get it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the good news. And I'd say that's a byproduct of the psychedelic revolution. And without psychedelics, we wouldn't be sitting here.
Mm.
It opened up a space. It opened up consciousness. It opened up possibilities. It showed that the material world is not as it appears. And that changes everything.
So then there's a possibility that the material world and yourself is not as you appear.
Well, if you do psychedelics, you know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I do. Well, yeah.
So that's one of its teachings.
Yeah.
Nothing is as it appears.
Yes. Indeed. But then, there are those that then conceptualize that.
Sure.
And then they know.
That's right.
And a teacher can come along, as maybe in the first meeting that Papaji had with Ramana's there, and he's up somewhere else.
Right.
There's in the moment of the piercing, whether in the relationship of the student and the teacher, then there's this possibility of staying, as well, I can speak for myself, staying at the feet of the teacher.
Papaji, when I met him and I knew in this moment, I'm looking at my own self, looking back at me, loving me as I am. I fell in love, of course. All I wanted to do, I told him, I don't care about enlightenment. I just want to sleep outside your door and take care of you. And that's still here. I love him so much. This is my precious, precious jewel of perfection that passed on the end of suffering and to everyone who came to his door. And so that I've never seen that before. I never saw that with any of the gurus, with any of the lamas, with any of anybody.
Yes.
And so I'm at his feet. And all this is his fruit. This is his lila.
Such a grace.
Oh, man. So lucky. So lucky. And the timing being so perfect, it couldn't happen except in that moment,
Exactly. So I guess for people who are meeting with teachers, and people are wandering around meeting with all different kinds of teachers now, there's so many possibilities, and true teachers and not true teachers and everything. Just this, what you and I are both experienced at the feet of someone that the teacher who just, my heart exploded when I met Gangaji. I mean, literally, it was fire. It was just, I could not, there was nothing else. There was nothing else I wanted. Nothing I wanted, nothing. It was only just this yes. I mean, not even a yes. It was like I was consumed in it.
Yes.
As if I couldn't have known what I was looking for.
Yes.
So how can we, people maybe have those experiences and they just, they look for more, or they don't trust it, or they try to be it or something.
Generally, it gets captured by the mind in some way, either to become an imitation of it, or to try to repeat it, or to try to pass it on, to try to teach it, or try to remember it, try to hold it.
Yeah.
And those are all traps in the mind, and those are all the tests to see what you're really serving.
Yeah.
Are you serving me or are you serving truth?
Yeah. I think there's I've seen there's a concept about giving your power away to somebody else,
Right.
about
Yeah, well, listen, you don't want to give your
staying.
power away to somebody else. This isn't, yeah, that's right.
That's exactly
Don't give your power away to somebody else.
That's right.
You surrender your power to the unknown. There's nobody else there.
Yeah. Then your name
Yes.
has no meaning.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I was watching this movie and I saw that him actually,
Which movie?
the Embrace of the Serpent.
Embrace of the Serpent. This is one of the best movies we've ever seen. It's really, really
incredible.
so good, so good. Takes place in the Brazilian rainforest with, pre-contact people who have been killed off by the rubber people. So
Yeah. And there's a moment when they're paddling in the boat, and the white man, I don't remember his name, he picks up the paddle and he starts paddling really kind of sloppy.
yeah,
And the teacher turns around and tells him how to do it, and he does it.
yeah,
He does it exactly how the teacher, the medicine man in this case, asked him to do it.
yes,
And there's a turning point. There was a turning point in our relationship. There's a turning point in that intense relationship you have with your teacher,
yes,
where you do, in a sense, you surrender your, is it will? Is it your, you say, okay, I'll do as I am told.
yes.
And that was such, that's such a moment now we're talking about a real relationship with a teacher.
Yes.
That's a long-term commitment.
Yes.
To discovering what is true and to...
It doesn't have to be a long-term commitment, though,
Well, it is in this case.
Yeah, okay.
I can only speak of that, but yes,
right,
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be a long-term commitment. I mean, it's an instant, and then in that instant, there's a liberation, and true liberation, you're liberated. And then who knows what comes next. But if you're in love, what comes next? You continue to love what you love. So it's really a love affair. It's not a should. It's not an obligation. It's just, this is what I love. This always makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there are tests as we saw in this movie.
And you have to surrender. And then there's a point where you don't surrender also, I mean, with Papa G, he wanted the world to know about him. That became my mission. Pass on. There's someone here, a living Buddha is here passing on freedom to anyone. Come and get it. And that became my mission. That's why I wrote Wake Up and Roar. That's why I brought Gangaji to him. I brought everybody I knew to come meet him because that was the mission. And I continued that mission. But then he wanted me to go have satsang. He wrote to me, go have satsang in Seattle and in Marin County and in Boulder, and they will welcome you there. I said, no. Gangaji's already doing that. That's her job. I'm not there to compete with Gangaji. I'm here to support her. I help set up the room. I'll help set up the chairs. But I'm not going to go have satsang when Gangaji's having satsang. It's like, we're crazy. And so I said, no. I didn't just blindly follow orders. I had to stay true to integrity and not say yes when I mean no and not do it half-heartedly or I just no. No,
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't do that.
Yeah. That's your life.
Yeah.
Do it half-heartedly, well, then life is half-hearted.
Yeah.
And mediocre.
Yeah. So then to have the capacity to look at the one you love and say no. No, not that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe you're right and maybe you're wrong and you'll find out.
What a teaching, really, for me, it's been. To be able to actually feel free to express what's coming through in that way, yes or no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, in the things that, in a way, in that moment of this yes to your teacher, whether it's long-term or not, there's this, you leave behind everything else.
It's a fulfillment of your own desire. So if you desire freedom and you desire love, and then you meet freedom and you meet love and you surrender to it, that's the end of your search. It's the end of your desires. You're fulfilled, you're happy, you're in love, and then you're free.
Yes. Yeah. So then the teacher comes and you discover you are not who you imagine yourself to be.
You discover true nourishment.
Yes.
And in true nourishment, it's boundless. There's no shortage. Endless supply of true nourishment.
Yes.
As long as we're consumed by the identity with our body and trying to keep it well and happy and safe and protected, and all this is an egoistic pursuit of,
Obsession.
obsession.
It's
with,
an obsession.
Obsession with the body. Because it's identity. That's the egoic identity. I am my body, therefore it needs wellness. Therefore it needs yoga. It needs whatever. But that's all. Not that the body doesn't need things. It does. My body.
Sure.
I exercise. I do my yoga every day. It's good. But it's not where the true nourishment is.
Yes. And we can say that to people, and they don't know what you mean by true nourishment. They still search. Everyone's still searching for this nourishment.
Yeah.
And so, this falling back on yourself, where there's the sense that there is no nourishment, that you're floating in this dark void of the unknown.
Yes. If you're searching for nourishment, you'll never find it. You'll become a junkie of some sort. You'll never have enough.
Yeah.
If you're searching for truth, nourishment is a byproduct.
Beautiful. It's true. Yes.
So life is pleasurable, but if you're searching for that, you lose it.
Yes. So then, to lose everything.
That's surrender to your teacher in your case. Your heart explodes and everything's finished.
You're totally finished.
Yeah.
And then the momentum of my life kind of unraveled for a long time.
Yeah.
Still unraveling. I mean, there will always be deeper surrender. It's so beautiful. I love it.
Yes.
Used to resist it, at all costs. No, not that.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's this transparency. This is something I wrote about too, about just this with the teacher, to be completely transparent, nothing hidden, to be completely and totally seen. We all really want to be seen, but we think we want our ego to be seen, me to be seen, but actually to be fully, totally seen, warts and all, is so exquisite.
Yes.
It's like it's finished then. It's another finishing.
Yes. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Yes. Yes. That one too.
All right. This is fun. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Eli.
I'm so grateful.
I'm so grateful too.
And I love you.
I love you too. What a lucky life.
Lucky, lucky life. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. I'm so happy to share this conversation with you. Please feel free to write with questions or comments to info@leela.org. If you would like to see what else is on offer from the Leela Foundation, check out our website at leela.org. May this serve your awakening.